On this week's episode of An Echo of Glory, we dissect that trouble on Tyneside, talk to analysis guru Jon Mackenzie about the Postecoglou project, and there's an exciting announcement about our new Echo of Glory membership. Welcome to another episode of An Echo of Glory. Joining me today, the two Jakes. Jake Robson, hello.
Hello.
Jake Sanders, hello.
Hello.
Hello. A smile. that'll change.
Jake squared.
Yeah, Jake squared.
Two Jake 2. Whatever you want to call us.
Who is Jake 2? Last week you said you were Jake 1 and he was Jake 2. It was controversial. Yeah. We'll be the judges of that. Let the audience decide.
Jake A, Jake B.
How's your weekend been, Jake Robson?
Weekend was good. Busy week last week. Interviews, player interviews, press conferences.
Yeah, you went to a Premier League ground.
I went to a Premier League training. I went to two Premier League training. I was at Southampton, speaking to Ben Brereton Diaz for the Premier League, and then Friday was at Crystal
Chilean
Palace.
international.
Yeah,
Chilean
it's mad,
international. And also, people won't know this, but when you go and do interviews for the Premier League and their worldwide broadcasters, sometimes the broadcaster of the country that the person is from, i.e. in this case Chile, South America, send you reads to give the players to do. And poor Ben Brereton Diaz had to do them in Spanish. And I don't think I'm betraying any confidence. He does speak Spanish, but perhaps what they wanted him to do was a bit more complicated than
he can
manage. So,
to be fair, some of the English ones struggle with.
Absolutely, yeah. And then Friday was at Crystal Palace for Oliver Glasner's press conference. So
Oliver Glasner, who was it? James Holland, friend of the show, was a great manager.
I think he is, and he's also really good in press conferences because the Sky Sports News guy was there asking him, who are you going to sign, who's going to be coming in, and he just batted.
He confirmed that Gay was staying.
He confirmed Gay was staying, but then they said, he might be in for a left back, and he goes, well, we're going to be here till 11 o'clock tonight, so you'll see. And he was true to his word.
Yeah. You, Jake Sanders, week?
Covered Spurs last weekend.
Yeah.
I haven't been on since, which was good fun.
Press lounge, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, really.
You've done
nice.
that before?
I've done it in COVID. I did it a few games in COVID. I think it was early 2021, but the media centre was closed because of all,
restrictions,
social distancing and whatnot. So it was really nice.
Yeah,
the auditorium's nice, and it's great, amazing seats. Really, I've not really sat that low down, so it's really quite close to the tunnel and the dugout. So it was a really good view. It's being a little bit higher up, but it is good view.
It's just behind the away. It's on the away side.
Yes, exactly. So when the players come out to warm up, and they just come out and start running, it's there. Really good.
Nice.
It was good.
And a good win. We've done all that, and it's downhill. It's downhill since then. We don't do this enough. Point out where you can find us. You can find us on TikTok. Gary doesn't like TikTok. But we like TikTok. It's at Echoes THFC, ECHOES THFC. And then our Instagram and our Twitter are both the same, at EOG THFC. Get on there, see all the stuff we put up, and just join the Echo of Glory community.
All the videos of Gary that he doesn't authorise you to put up there of him on TikTok.
Hates it.
He'll never know.
Hates it.
Yeah.
It's like the Chinese government. Can't stand it.
Thinks he's Peter Pan.
Yeah. Right, club news. A little bit to talk about. We'll start with the under-21s, as we always do. They lost 2-1 at Southampton, and as Alistair Gold said, it's a transitional period for them. A lot of the players, as we know, some have moved on, some have moved up.
Mikey Moore played, didn't he? I think.
Did he? Didn't notice that. Yeah, they lost 2-1 to Southampton. The 18s, who started with a 6-4 win against Palace and a 5-1 win against Fulham, they drew 2-2 against Brighton. The women's season hasn't yet started. They let winger Rosella Ayane go to America, and I was like, that's weird. Doesn't really start very often, but comes off the bench. And then a day later, they announced what for me is a brilliant signing. Hayley Raso, Australia international, former Real Madrid, Man City, 80 caps for Australia. Good signing, really good signing. Got a few Australians in that team, a few internationals. The men's, we'll come to the transfer window in a second.
Scroll down, I can't see it.
Oh, right, sorry, the running order. There you go, I'm done really. I'm just going to read the Europa League fixtures out.
That fixture list on the website is not actually the running order of it, is it? Because I think...
It's all in order, date order.
Oh, is it? Oh, they have updated it.
They have updated
it feels like the draw's actually quite good for us.
You're right, they list it, they in the text it's wrong, but then they put the fixtures. So the fixtures are Carabao at home, Ferencvaros away, Alkmaar home, Galatasaray away, Roma home, Rangers away, Hoffenheim away, Elfsborg at home. So we go to...
That seems like a pretty good first three, doesn't it?
That's a lot better than how it was listed originally.
Because you basically,
order.
the way you want that kind of draw to work out is the tougher games, Roma, Galatasaray, Rangers, Hoffenheim, you want them to be at the crunch time when we hopefully don't need, if we win the first three games, we're well on our way to being through. You don't want to go lose at Galatasaray, lose at Rangers or whatever.
So our trips are Budapest, Istanbul, Glasgow and Hoffenheim, which I assume is in Hoffenheim.
Yep.
I did look to see who we've played before. We've played Carabao before.
We played them, Suns, I think it was Suns' first goal was against Carabao.
Yeah. Feel like it was I should have done this.
I don't think we played any of them in my lifetime.
We've never played Roma. I know that, which I was quite surprised about.
Competitive?
No, not in a competitive game. Alkmaar is
Troy Parrott.
Troy Parrott. So listen, it's
quite a nice narrative.
The toughest game away will be Galatasaray, but they're not.
Do you know what? I think this will come back to bite me when we inevitably melt down and lose there, but I think Galatasaray is nowhere near as hard of a game as it once was.
Definitely.
I know they've got that horrible atmosphere.
No,
I watched United play them last year, and did they lose 4-3 United or draw 3-0? I can't remember, but they were 3-1 up.
Yeah.
After about an hour of that game until Onana started throwing a few in, and they were cruising completely. It's it's the kind of game where they're really not that good. I know that I think they're champions, aren't they, of Turkey? But they're really not that good. They've got a lot of they've actually got a lot of familiar faces.
Yeah, a lot of people go
They've
there.
got Torreira and Sanchez, and
they are champions. They're second in the league at the moment.
But I don't think it's not. Although having said that, we've failed to beat far lesser teams in Europe away from home.
Our away form in Europe has not been.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah, they got knocked out last year in the Europa League by Sparta Prague.
But we should get in the top 8 really with those fixtures.
You don't even need to get in the top 8.
You don't.
Top 8 gets you straight through to the round of 16.
No, but we don't. We don't want to
have another round.
Oh, why not? Why not? There's not enough games. Why we could chuck in a couple more.
We need to get in the top 8. 8 for first. I don't think there's much of a difference.
I have to say, I think it's quite an exciting new concept. When people were saying, "Oh, why have they changed it?" The one thing I don't know how they could have done this, but could they have looked at it? Did it need extra matches, as it were, in the group stages for each team? Of the group stage, I'm not sure. I like the idea of a league format. Why not mix it up?
I think the Champions League and the Europa League, certainly the Champions League, I think it went a bit stale. Match week 5 last year, most groups were done, which is quite boring. And yes, you're going to have what you're going to have with this league is that some teams will be clear.
The only problem is you get a lot more of them though. Like I don't know if I can't think off the top of my head, but City and Arsenal got really kind draws. Half of their games are going to be,
Gimmies.
Which is just a bit of a waste of time. But I found it quite exciting, the fact that we're playing 8 teams. Is a bit mad, isn't it? Because we've gone from 3 to 8.
Well, 7. We play 7 other teams.
7, sorry. Yeah. That's just...
Well, we've got 8 games.
No, 8. Sorry,
you're right. It's 8. It's 8
so
games.
we used to draw in 3 teams in a group, and now we've got 8.
Yeah.
Which is just a bit... Yeah. It's exciting to be playing a few different teams. I think the draw's good because it will test us, and we should be all right. Really. Should.
Do you remember that one season in the Conference League? Who were our teams? Rennes, Vitesse,
and AZ out of lost to them.
Maribor?
No,
no,
it was the meltdown.
Yeah.
Sessignon got sent off.
Was that not Maribor? What year was that?
No, it was. They played at Maribor's ground. Oh, what's they called? We lost in the last minute away from home.
21,
under
22?
Conte, yeah.
Yeah, under Conte. When he
Mura. The first leg was under
21-22.
But Mura were rubbish. But we played Rennes and Vitesse, which was like a Europa League draw in the Conference League.
But we didn't. We didn't play all the games.
Rennes home got postponed because of COVID. And
that was the time when Nuno completely separated the squad, didn't he? He took basically a B team to Vitesse, which I don't think Ange will be doing that. I think we'll get some strong teams in this. I think.
Hope so. And we've talked about it last week. We've got the squad to cope with it.
Yeah.
Okay, and the Carabao Cup draw away from home yet again. We talked about that, didn't we, on the old WhatsApp? We've had away, like 5 in a row away in the Carabao Cup, and only Wolves.
But we've not had shockers. We've just had some shockers in terms of the results. We've never really had like an Arsenal away or we just somehow managed to cock this up. And my slight concern is it's after Arsenal, I think, which worries me because I just think 3 days after Arsenal, is he going to play? Is he going to make 8 or 9 changes? I don't know. I'd like to think he'll play James Maddison just because it's...
Seems to have a lot of former clubs, James Maddison.
I think...
but he's from Coventry though, isn't he? Is that
I believe
not
so,
where
yeah.
Yeah, I think...
It's not a terrible
You'd
draw.
think that even if he did make 5 or 6 changes...
The problem is, I think we have midweek Carabao Cup, midweek Europa League, midweek Europa League.
It's going to happen. It's coming.
That's the problem.
It's coming.
But the Carabao Cup should be a priority over the Swedish team at home, in my opinion, in the Europa League. You go stronger for Coventry.
Well, we've got Carabao at home first.
Carabao, sorry. That should be a priority. Coventry's a much harder game.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he sees it differently.
So it's Brentford. Is it then Brentford at home?
It's Coventry away, Brentford at home, and then Carabao at home, and then United away. That's a good week, isn't it?
Yeah, but Carabao, we could rest players for Carabao.
Yeah.
Okay. Quick chat on the transfer window, which is now closed. I think it became quite clear. There was a story going around that we were looking at this left-sided centre-back from Dortmund, Koulibaly, and he...
Not that one.
Which one?
Not that Koulibaly.
Yeah, not the Chelsea one.
Not the Chelsea one. With a C, not a K. And it didn't happen, potentially failed a medical. Don't know how much truth there is in that. I think it became clear Thursday, Friday that our work was done. So this is from Ollie Spiro, friend of the show. He's been on once. He's coming on again soon. We've gone into the season with 3 centre-backs, 2 who regularly get injured / suspended in Romero's case, 3 full-back, 1 who gets injured regularly. I assume he's talking about Doggy. And 1 was about to be sold to Genoa. That's Spence.
Yeah.
Our left centre-back got injured during the window. Van der Ven. We moved our right centre-back to left centre-back, and that's where we conceded the winning goal on Sunday. He's obviously quite angry, and I've seen a few people mirror that on social media, that actually we've signed Solanke, who improves the first team. Have we done enough in the winter? It's nice to sign your Bergvales, your Greys, have Spence as a new signing. I get all of that. It's important for the Europa League, for the Carabao Cup, all these games. The crux is have we done enough to the main first team? And the first team is not just 11 players, it's like 13, 14 players. Have we done enough in the window, Jake? No.
We spoke about it at the start of the summer. All of us, you need to improve your starting 11 by 2 or 3 players. I think we can all agree on that. And we all identified some sort of winger, probably a right winger, because when everyone's fit, Son's still going to be our first choice left winger, and a centre midfielder. We had this whole thing about Gallagher and Jacob Ramsey at the start of the window.
Yeah.
And I know we signed Archie Gray, but we didn't sign an established centre midfielder, which we all felt we needed. We all could see that massive gap in the middle for the whole of last season, really, and we didn't sign one.
For all, Højbjerg gets a bit of, what's the word I'm looking for? Abuse is the wrong word. Criticism, thank you. But I think even in games like yesterday, and of course we'll come to yesterday, there was just times when Højbjerg, who may not be a top player, but experience, comes on, knows how to kill a game. I think we're missing that player.
I never really thought that we should let him go. No, I thought there was a role for him in the squad, not in the first team. But we saw a couple of times toward the end of last season, he was brought on at half time in one game. It was at home.
Nottingham Forest.
That was it.
Forest, yeah.
Changed the game for us. I think just because we're high energy, high pressing, passing, and maybe those weren't necessarily his strongest attributes. There's room certainly when you're changing things up for a player who's maybe a bit more physical. Certainly a leader on the pitch. And actually, I thought his passing improved towards the end of the season. And
I thought we'd outgrown it. I thought we needed
I don't disagree with that, but
I liked him as a player, but he wasn't good enough, and it was right to move him on. But I know what you mean. But my point is, Solanke, I hope, will be a brilliant sign-in, and obviously, if he'd played yesterday, I have no doubt he would have scored at least one, probably a few more, just because of the way the game was. With there was so much space in behind, but we needed to improve it by. To 2 or 3 positions. But I don't know if it was just the window, because no one did. Arsenal, Man City, did any of them prove their too? I know they're a lot better, but no one really seemed to. Did Newcastle?
No, definitely not.
And what I think is wrong, and as usual, when people complain, they don't think about it logically. some of the names that were bandied about. Why didn't we go for this person?
But I think
Why
that
didn't we
is
go
the
for that
frustration,
person?
though. That is the frustration because
but sometimes I do look at other clubs and go, why haven't we signed that player? But as
Yeah,
you
it's
said,
different.
that player hasn't moved or has gone abroad.
No, I agree.
So I don't think there aren't any, like you're saying, there aren't any. You can mention Gallagher. Obviously, in the end,
I didn't want Gallagher for the record, but I think
a lot of people have mentioned Eze. Well, obviously Palace. Obviously,
but the problem is people have mentioned that because of links and stuff. So everyone sort of had this fantasy of, well, it's either Eze or Neto. Which one we're going to get? Well, we didn't get Neto, so we have to go all out for Eze. And that was the frustration when we signed someone like Odegaard. No disrespect to him, we said it at the time. He looks a talent, obviously, but we needed established players for now, and we got one.
Yeah.
Solanke.
Yeah.
And as we can see, when typical how we work with injuries, we're 3 games in and we've got no new signings in our team.
Yeah. I guess the question is, would we rather we'd spent 60 million on 2 players or 60 million on one and then scattered the rest of that?
I think Solanke had to happen. I think that's a brilliant signing.
So then if you accumulate the money he maybe spent on Berval and Gray, could we have maybe spent that on one player? Is that what you're saying? Who would have cost 60 to 70? I don't know. Yeah, but the thing is, who though? A Gallagher?
No. I agree. I completely agree.
Not 10 million. He never plays.
I just felt like we needed an established winger. I was concerned at the end of last season where I was just thinking, none of these guys are really good enough. They're all capable of moments of magic. None of them are good enough.
But of course, the problem was with Neto, for example, nobody can match what Chelsea will offer him in terms of years contract. Yeah. So I think whoever comes in for him, maybe unless it's Man City, he's going to go to Chelsea basically every time because they're going to offer him a 6, 7, 8 year deal. So that you have to hold your hands up and go, well, you're never going to get him in that case. And then someone like Eze, Palace didn't let Mark Gahey go for £65 million.
Yeah, they're holding firm.
So what was Eze going to cost? More money than was probably necessary.
He had a release clause at one point,
but So then you're looking at it going, well, imagine if we'd signed Eze having to pay 90 million for him. People complained Solanke was 60. What people have said about Eze for 90. You can't. I just don't think you can necessarily win every time.
Can you read that out? What's on the screen?
No. Thankfully, this isn't working.
Do you know what also is a bit of a frustration? I know we've had the Solanke injury, but already three games into the season, we've had Brennan Johnson start, the first 2 dropped. Son started on the left, then he's moved centrally. Odegaard started on the left, then the right. People saying Kulu on the right. Werner's come on. It's like, it's all a bit,
Yep.
We used to have, this one starting here and this one starting here every single week. And we just, I feel like that epitomises where we sort of are.
Yeah, I don't know what I think about us at the moment.
The only settled thing in the team, which I know we concede a silly amount of goals, is the defence. Every week it's like, well, them 5 are starting.
Well, Van de Ven didn't.
No, but
if
before the you know what I mean. When
you can't pick
fit.
our best team at the moment.
No one knows it every week.
But that is a slight trade-off from having options. We said forever under Poch, you know what the best team is going to be, but we also say now that actually maybe that wasn't a good thing.
Last year, and it was the team. We knew the team at the start of the season. We knew the team.
Werner wasn't there. So,
that is true. Werner wasn't there,
and Kulusevski was basically ousted by Johnson. So in the starting 11. So if you're looking at the front, and then we had Richarlison when fit.
I think obviously the injuries do play a part to this. Obviously, we've hardly had a run under Ange apart from that first sort of 7 or 8 games.
Also,
and
I think if Solanke
played the same team.
If Solanke was fit, we know what the starting 11 would be because it'd be Son on the left, it'd be Solanke through the middle.
I don't know.
Would have been Johnson.
Yeah, but would it have been? It would have been Johnson. But Kulu's playing too well to not be in the team. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
Bentancur comes back in. It's all a bit.
He looked good.
Jumbled up.
He didn't, did he?
Did he actually come on? I can't even remember.
Bentancur got tackled. He got booked for winning the ball at one point. Right, let's talk about it. As we just said, more injuries this week. The weekly average keeps ticking over. Van de Ven injured. It wasn't the knee injury, apparently. It was a quad injury.
It seems fine, which is...
Yeah, let's see if he goes on international duty. Knowing Spurs, he probably will. Dragerson came in for him. Sarr came in for Johnson. It was a quiet start. I think that was so important because certainly in the 6-1, they were 4 up after 20.
Yeah.
Last year we started the better.
We started better.
They scored on the break.
Yeah. And then they started slightly better, but nothing. There was no threat. We got on top.
It was a nothing first half. I think happened in the first.
And then we conceded.
Yeah.
Vicario a bit loose.
Caught out from a throw-in.
Caught out from a throw-in.
Yeah, but that was all. I'm sorry, but that was all on Romero. That one, wasn't it? The way he went hurtling out. Okay, you want to see him press, but he then didn't get back. I don't mind that, but he didn't get back. He didn't bust his balls to get back in position, or he didn't bust his balls to get back in the position that Bissouma would have been in. Bissouma took up his position in the line, and that gap where Harvey Barnes was where your six.
I think,
which in this case should have been Romero filling in, and he wasn't there.
I think these first 3 games are why Romero, I don't think, outside of Spurs, will ever be regarded as a top centre.
I get that. I get
and
fans
I
telling me,
really, really, really rate him. But you hear Spurs fans that say, you know, he's one of the best defenders in the world, or, you know, and I know he's incredible at international level, but he switches off. And he did it against Leicester and he cost us, and he did it yesterday. And he seems to have cut out that sort of rashness to his game. You know, cue the red card against Arsenal next week, obviously. But, you know, he seems to have really, really knuckled down on his discipline, but silly, needless mistakes switching off. Seen that already. Top defenders don't do that.
I haven't got any stats to back this up because, as we all know, we do lots of research for this show. And I don't know if there are any stats to back it up. It feels like he's not the same player when Van de Ven isn't alongside him. I know what you're saying about Leicester, but I just feel like yesterday,
well, also you got to remember he played out of position yesterday,
and he did play out of position. I sort of think that he was trying almost too hard at times, and the playing out of position didn't help. He's just a different player when he's got Van de Ven alongside him. Whether it's because he knows Van de Ven will cover him pace-wise, not sure. I think he's a different player.
If Real Madrid dropped 70 million, would you take?
No. He took me a long time to warm to him. He's brilliant. He's absolutely brilliant. Like, there's a case to say he's our best player. There is a case to say that, but, you know, I wouldn't regard him as high as some possibly do just because of these silly, you know, moments where he switches off, lapses in concentration.
Dragusin did well.
Made an amazing tackle.
Amazing tackle.
Funny, I wasn't watching at that point. Faffing about.
Turned it off already.
No. I was faffing about. And I think I was just on Twitter, and Spurs wrote, Dragusin, and people were like, oh my God, Dragusin. I was thinking, oh, it's 1-1. And I think I had the cricket on. I put it back to the football. I was like,
why were you putting the cricket on?
Well, half time, because it happened just after half time.
Oh, yeah.
And I hadn't switched it back.
Oh, okay, fine.
And I was like, it's 1-0. So, it was a great tackle, but I think it was a bit much for Spurs to just... The only
thing about Dragusin was, and he was actually brilliant. He did look really good. You know, Isaac hardly had a kick in the game.
Yeah.
But it felt like that whole second half, and I kept thinking they're waiting for that one ball where they wrap it around him, and that is exactly how they score. They did that, didn't they, for that tackle? Who was it? Was it? I can't remember who was through on goal. Was it Isaac for the tackle? It was the same scenario. Yeah. But he got back for the first one, and we couldn't get back for the second one.
Yeah.
It just felt like they were waiting for that.
Yeah, look, I don't want to dissect this game in terms of events too much. We got on top in the second half. We scored awful goalkeeping from Nick Pope. Not sure if I think Johnson's shot was going in. Pope actually made a good save. Don't know what Dan Burn was doing. What's he thinking of?
He was one of our best players for a period, Dan Burn, yesterday.
And then one pass cuts through us. Is that just not rinse and repeat? I feel like I'm a broken record.
Well, you do wonder if Maddison hadn't already been booked, whether he's bringing down Joe Linton. Yeah. But even if he isn't, I think he just gets turned far too easily. Basically, that goal is created by Joe Linton spinning Maddison in their half, and then he plays the pass and he's away. Okay, yes, the defence, the line, but the whole point of pressing and playing a very, very strong and high pressing game is that if you the one weakness of that is that if the first man misses the press, you are in big trouble because then the gaps open up because it's man on man basically, and that's what happened. I'm not mitigating, but that's basically why they scored that goal.
I'm not laughing at you. I thought Jake was going back to shout.
I think the frustration is the fact that, you know, we should be sat here on 9 points. I don't think anyone could question that. We should have won all 3 games comfortably.
You'd have taken 7, right?
Yeah, no, but we should have won comfortably yesterday. I know you didn't like it, but any proper team wins that. Any serious team wins that game yesterday. Newcastle was so there for the taking. No one will have it that easy at St James's Park. But the frustration is, it feels like we have to do so much to score a goal.
Yeah.
You know, look how much pressure we put on them to score 1 goal and 1 ball in behind them we conceded.
Well,
it was the same against Leicester.
You just mentioned control, I think. You did say control, didn't you? Pete Connolly, listener, messages me. We chat a lot about Spurs. He said, people are saying we were in control, but are you really when you're conceding goals like that? Like, we are in control because we've got a lot of possession, but teams are just sort of saying, I know Newcastle could have conceded, but they're basically saying to us, you have the ball. When you give it back to us, we will break on you and something will happen.
I sometimes check the stats in the game just
Only
to sort
sometimes.
of see how we're doing. And I checked it just before they scored. We had 79% possession.
But is that
in the
is that
second
in
half.
control?
I don't know.
Is that control?
We'd had 10 shots and 79% possession. They'd had one shot. I don't know. It feels like we're never in control.
You're watching the game and you're thinking how close do Newcastle look to scoring right now? And I think the answer yesterday, apart from the 2 goals, it was a Willock chance in the second half where he tried to outside with his boot poke it in at the near post.
And Murphy had a chance where...
Sorry,
Vicario
Murphy, not
saved.
Willock. Murphy. And in the first half, when
hit the bar.
when he hit the bar. But that
was a bit of a freak, though, wasn't it?
that's it.
But you, okay.
So I'm looking at that game going, we are in control.
You said, how close are they to scoring?
Yeah.
We said this in pre-season.
How often
a team can be on their edge of the penalty area and be close to scoring against us because of the way that's not me trying to be flippant.
Yeah.
The way we play, your 2 passes, and Newcastle showed it.
Yeah.
So we might be in control, but Eddie Howe could turn around and go, that's how I wanted to play.
I just think proper control is, and I hate to go back to it, is what we were like under Poch. During the prime Poch, we would have won that game 3 or 4-1 comfortably, and it wouldn't have been a doubt. When we missed a few chances, it wouldn't have been an issue. We would have just taken one.
I agree. I'm sorry to talk about this lot up the road, and I could have picked another club, but they play in a similar way to us. Proper control is keeping the ball, moving around, creating big chances. I know people don't like XG. Our XG was low yesterday.
But that's what I said to you yesterday about a serious team win that. There's no way another top team don't come away and win that game. There's just no way.
And Leicester.
Yeah.
But Villa got the second goal against Leicester, and Leicester rallied, and they will do. They're at home. They're not great, but they're at home. They can play. They rallied. They got one. Villa held on. But Villa held on because they scored again. They were 2 up.
But also, what really frustrates me yesterday is this, and this would have been fine. Really, a draw would have been fine yesterday, even after how we play. We never seem to hold on. It's like we're a stroppy child, and it's like, well, we can't win it, so I'm not going to draw it.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in the draw. We're just going to lose it. It is.
Hey, it works.
We've done it so many times.
I was a stroppy
works
child
for the
last
England
night.
cricket team.
What's
They
that?
don't do
Yeah,
draws
it
anymore.
is like that mentality. It's like, we've not been able to score, so I quit.
Throw the
Because
control
we
across the room.
never draw games, because that seems to happen.
The only thing
of
that I
games last
will
season, but-
say is that if we were on 9 points and we'd scraped 3 wins playing badly,
We did that once a few years ago, didn't we?
1-0.
Yeah,
the Nuno.
people would be saying, yeah, but we haven't played well.
No, but we wouldn't have scraped.
He got manager of the month, and he was
Yeah.
closer to the sack. He was.
We
Yeah,
wouldn't have scraped
but
Jake
at least
because we played pretty well, to be fair. We have.
You mean if we got across the line in these games?
Yeah, I don't think they'd have been
I think
scraped.
if you didn't
but-
know the results and you'd seen how we played, everyone would have bitten their hand off for it. Because if you watched them games and them chances, you'd have been like,
Right.
we're on minimum 7 points here.
Right.
Really.
Which is why I think that is less worrying than if you're not playing well and you're scraping, because then you wonder how long is this gonna last for? Playing badly but getting the wins, because eventually things will, a bit like it did at the beginning of last season. People were saying, well, we're not really worth this. Was it 9 wins or no, not 9?
8 wins out.
8 wins out of 9. And then we kind of regressed to the mean. I think towards the end of last season, we were not playing well.
Have we played that well though this season? So far?
I think
This
yesterday.
season,
I think
in patches, yeah.
yesterday. I think we played. We were.
Yeah, we did.
We played well yesterday. On another day, 20 attempts on goal, 6 on target, or something.
But as Jonny said, this is the worry, and we missed. We screwed up so many promising situations, but we didn't create chances. I don't think there was chances in that game at 1-0 where I thought, he's missed a sitter here. That one where Johnson came in on his left and ballooned it over, but there wasn't loads. It was more, and there was a video doing the rounds on
Long-range
Twitter.
shots.
It was a minute or 2 video of 4 or 5 scenarios with Odobert, Son and Johnson where they were breaking into the box. And this is my massive frustration. They don't know what they want to do with it. They don't know whether to go on their own and shoot. They don't know whether to pass. They're getting that, if they're going for a cross or a shot, there's not enough quality and it's blocked. Sometimes they're making the wrong decisions. Those were the chances, which is why the XG was lower.
Yeah,
because
they
we
weren't
should have
massive chances.
created chances. Like that one where Johnson,
but-
puts it across and everyone's going, oh, what if Solanke was there? But But should he play that?
That isn't to that. Yes, I agree, and I know exactly what you're talking about. I remember thinking, but that is the kind of thing that can be ironed out. You would hope in time when players have played more. That's not like fundamentally, oh my goodness, how could we have ever won that game? You haven't come away from that going, but we had no chance. Like, how you don't even see us getting any points from that. Isn't it better to come away from going,
it is.
well, I can see actually on another day we would have won that game. It's way better. Whereas towards the end of last season, there were some matches where you're thinking, I don't see how.
At least
I don't
we're
see
creating chances.
how we could have won it.
Hopefully, is promising.
And let's not forget. Okay, we all, Johnny, you had us down to lose yesterday. I thought we'd get a 2-2 draw.
Yeah, I thought we'd get.
Most people, it's a poor place for us to go to.
What you're saying is I name my onions.
You know your onions. Yeah, and ultimately, I don't think we lost in the way that you thought we were going to lose.
Absolutely not.
And I think that, okay, listen, you never want to lose, but ultimately, it's a tough place to go, Newcastle. On another day, we'd have won, which I think is quite positive. We absolutely battered a poor Everton side, as we should have done, and we drew against Leicester on the first day of the season. Like,
I just think I'm not talking for
but
everyone else, but for me personally, even after 3 games, the season already feels like it has a bit of an inevitability to it. Which is, you know, we're going to be a bit like this. We're going to dominate some games, and ultimately we don't have enough quality at the top end of the pitch, and we're going to get punished.
Hold that thought, because in a
not.
minute we're going to talk to John and
someone who really knows.
Who
what
really
he's talking
knows,
about.
and I think that's a good thing to ask him. He knows his onions far more than me, but I just want to bring in a couple of stats because I think, and I've said it before,
because you do look the stats, unlike Jake over here.
Yeah, he's only sporadically looking at various games.
To be fair, he's more of a letters and words man.
I know the stats.
I think away form says a lot about a team. Teams can go on good away. United had a good away patch a couple of years ago. They were unstoppable away. But I think generally an away form speaks volumes for a club. Since we beat Forest, we then played Brighton. So since December the 28th, away from home, our form is play 12, 1-2, drawn 4, lost 5, 2 clean sheets. Not great. The thing that concerns me most is we've conceded 2 or more 8 times in our last 12 away games. You cannot win away football matches if you are conceding 2 goals.
Do you know what though? This is obviously poor. This is shocking, but this has been an issue for half a decade now. It has.
Okay, but I'm talking about now.
No. But this is our away form was falling off a cliff.
All right, well, it's not just away because
in fact, since that Burnley away game in 2019, we have not been able to sort out that away form under various managers. It has been dreadful. We concede way too many goals away from home and don't win enough away games.
We're conceding goals full stop under Ange. I know he's not been here that long, but goals per game, only Glenn Hoddle has conceded more goals per game as Spurs manager. I think Livermore and Clements were the same, 1.57. We're conceding more goals than under Ozzy Ardiles, 1.57, I think it is, under Ange, 1.54 under Ozzy. Harry Redknapp, who was a bit gung-ho, he was just, the old run around a bit, 1.12 per game. Poch, 1.02.
Wow, that's amazing.
I mean,
that's like conceding 38 Prem. That's like 39 goals.
We know
in
that brilliant season where we didn't concede any goals.
Yeah, but Poch out, so
Now, Poch's race was run. But it's funny because I've banged this drum for a long time. Our away form became so bad under Poch. And that's when
it was that Burnley game, wasn't it?
Right.
He did so well to get us into a position where, historically we've never been good away. Even when we were, under Harry, or maybe one season under Harry, but 2009 to 2014 we weren't. And he got us into a position where we used to go to your Palaces, your Swanseas, your West Brom, and we used to just win them all. Yeah. You look at them, and we don't now. Look at last season, drawing away at Brentford, 2 years ago Southampton, drawing away at Leicester, drawing at Everton last season. We don't beat anyone. We don't.
The only team and who are the teams?
Sheffield United,
who are the
and
teams
Villa,
that do that now?
Oh,
though?
I thought you meant the two we won.
So what I was going to say is, and we were essentially a top 3 team then. We're not a top 3 team anymore, and the only
because of the away form.
Yeah,
really.
yeah. But it just in terms.
But we're
of,
similar
just
to
across the board.
Like I said to you, there's 3 quality teams in this league, and the rest. Tottenham, Villa, Chelsea, Man United, Newcastle. We are all flaky.
Brighton, yeah.
I wouldn't put Brighton in that 5, but we're all flaky.
Yeah.
Because we can go to Villa and win 4-0, and then we can go to Leicester and draw 1-0.
We can go to Villa and win 4-0 because when it comes off, it really comes off. Like yesterday, we could have scored 4.
Yeah, that could have been a great away win, but then we go and lose it.
What was the other away win?
Sheffield United
and Villa,
which Sheffield United hardly even counts, does it? It's a bloody gimme.
Yeah. End of the season gimme. I can't remember what I was going to say. I just think away form is that's for me again. Is when it started to fall apart for Poch. When the away form went, you're like, okay, there's something.
Do you know our next 2 away games are as well?
United and
Brighton.
Yeah.
United though.
Right. Should we talk tactics?
Yeah.
Because we don't know what we're talking about. Let's be honest. Should we do it?
Who have we got?
Jon Mackenzie from The Athletic, friend of the show.
Main man, get him on.
Let's do it. Delighted to welcome back to the show writer and presenter for Tifo Football, The Athletic FC. It's Jon Mackenzie. Jon, welcome to the show.
Hello, it's great to be back.
As we were just talking about your title, Jake Robson rightly said you might be a counsellor at the end of this. So I need you.
It was actually the other Jake.
Sorry,
but
Jake
okay.
Sanders. Sorry, it was Jake Sanders. But listen, we're 41 games, Premier League games, and not many more because we didn't have many cup runs, into the Ange Postecoglou project. We, at the end of last season, we rated him like a school report. Nobody gave him less than an A or A minus. But what's your sort of view on the first, 12 months or so under Postecoglou?
Yeah, I guess I would liken it to climbing a cliff. Really, it felt as though you did a lot of growth really quickly under Ange, and got to the top of that mountain very, very rapidly. Maybe now feels a little bit like you've plateaued a little bit, and the question is, where are the gains going to come from? So I think we've seen real gains in terms of developing this exciting attacking brand of football. Now is I think the crunch part where people are asking more, I guess, in-depth questions about maybe some of the defensive frailties that we're seeing, some of the areas that I think Spurs fans could rightly get frustrated about. And I guess for me now, the next few months are going to be the space that Ange has to actually answer those questions.
Jon, thank you very much. Great to hear from Jon. Look, if you want to see that full interview, go to our members page. That's next to the subscribe button on our YouTube channel. And click to join. By doing so, you get to see access to all interviews like Jon, the special guests we get on. We've put some other content in there for you, the pre-season look-backs that we had, the chat with Adam Richman, Man vs. Food, remember him?
Great show.
Yeah, you love Man vs. Food.
Everyone loves it. It's a great show.
We should do a Spurs Man vs. Food at the stadium.
Well, we did speak about that with Mr. Richmond. He came on.
Yeah.
The knowledge. You weren't here for that one, Jake. The knowledge that he had of the history of Tottenham. Who was it that he... Stambouli. And we're going, hold on a second. But he went back further than that.
God,
I mean, he was
Stambouli
talking
was
Bill
bad.
Nick. He was...
Yeah, he knew.
And people say, oh...
He knew Bill Nick?
Yeah.
Well, not personally. But yeah, and he was amazing. We thought we were going to get him on we thought we were waking him up in the middle of the night. No, we thought it was coming on in his afternoon in America for a 10-minute chat. I mean, he wouldn't... I say this in the nicest way. He wouldn't get off. We had him on for about an hour and a half. We were just talking Tottenham, bit of food, more Tottenham.
It's brilliant.
What a great combination.
It was amazing.
Food and Tottenham.
Food,
Yeah.
Apart from Tottenham.
So
We came here after one of the matches, was it Fulham? And he said that he didn't go to the game because he wanted to speak to us afterwards. He literally said that. It was amazing.
Yeah.
What a guy.
So that's the sort of stuff that you will find in our new members page. So
Members?
Yeah.
Sounds fancy.
I know, fancy schmancy, huh?
Fancy schmancy.
Join the Echo of Glory members page.
Keep the lights on.
Yeah. What does that mean?
And we've got the season look, if you look it up, the
Yes.
season look backs as well that we recorded over the summer.
With Gareth Dace. There's
Yep.
some brilliant content. So we're going to stick all this sort of stuff in our members page. So do that. Join on our YouTube channel.
And there'll be more to come.
Yeah, more to come.
Who have we got coming up? We don't want to say in case they don't turn up.
Yeah. Not going to reveal.
There's some good irons in the fire, put it that way.
Yeah. So basically, join our members page, join the community. Right.
What's
No
coming
game.
up this week?
No game this week.
Happy
International
days.
break. Is Van der Ven going to go to the Netherlands? No Spurs players in England squad yet again.
Good.
Yeah, good. Just
No Bentancur.
Bentancur suspended. Romero will go off and do his thing.
I actually checked this morning when Argentina's game was, just because I thought, oh God, if it's one of these Wednesday nights, I think it's Tuesday night, which is fine because we play Sunday, so should be back by training for Thursday. Should be absolutely no problems there.
Yeah. We just need everyone to come back safely, don't
Hopefully we get some. Hopefully Saka and not Rice. We don't need Rice to get injured
Just
now.
very quickly, red card or not?
Red card, but it's a red card by the rule, but it's harsh. I know it's them, but it's very harsh. It's silly from Rice, but it's
Also, no one really complained about it.
It's just a bit.
Arteta didn't even complain about it, which says a lot because everyone knows what the rules are.
Their fans
now.
were moaning about it.
Yeah, of course they were.
It was one of those classic ones where we're laughing at them, but if it was us, people would be
fuming,
going mental.
fuming.
But imagine if it was Maddison missing a North London derby
it's a
as well,
big
we
loss.
would be going bananas.
It's a big loss. They're going to have to play Jorginho in
But
there.
I loved it.
It
was brilliant.
Absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
It was
So,
brilliant.
all right, we're going to be back. I'm done. I was listening.
Yeah, can't wait for it. North London Derby, that's after we get back.
We're lining up a bumper show next week, but you're not here. Where are you?
You don't want to know.
I do want to know.
I'm away next week, actually.
There you go.
Not for the show.
Oh, right, yeah. So, like I said, you said...
No, I'm not
Jesus.
away. I'm
I'm going away on
working next
Tuesday.
week.
Okay, so we've got that to look forward to. Well, I'm going to get your prediction now for the North London Derby because you're not
because
here.
I'm not here. You can play it back to me. 2-2.
Okay. Been a few 2-2s, hasn't there?
Not for a while.
2-2 to
At our
Arsenal.
place.
At
At
our
our
place.
place. There was a we need to beat this lot.
We need to beat a
We're
top
letting
team.
them, you know.
Yeah.
What is this? 3 times in a row if they beat us again, or 4? Is it?
At ours.
Yeah.
No
It's
way.
3, won't it?
No.
No.
It would be 3
Three.
if they
We
win.
need to beat them.
Would it?
They did us 2-0.
Yeah, they
3-2.
tore us off the park two games ago. All right. As I said, become a member of an Echo of Glory. Why wouldn't you?
Why wouldn't you?
Join the community. Support us.
Absolutely.
Okay. Do it.
Be the best decision you ever made.
It will be the best decision you've ever made. Find that on our YouTube channel next to the join button. Right. Or it is the join button. Just have a look.
Just have a look.
Just have a look. Find it. Join it. Click it. Gentlemen, thank you so much. Jake and Jake.
Thank you.
We will see you soon.
See you soon.
And up the Spurs.